It's off of Skyline. We're in California, by the way, so highly recommend it. But that's not what the post is about today. Matter of fact, the post is about just keeping accountable. So, as I said, it's day 2. Yesterday's video that I released basically outlined kind of what my goal is over the next 12 months. But to kind of quickly recap, it's to shed the weight that I've gained over 16 years from about 2005 to today, 2021, and that culminated in me playing Santa in a music video and not needing to like put any stuffing in the suit or anything like that. I did weigh myself this morning. I should have done it first thing, well, sorry for the lens flare. The sun's behind me. I should have done it first thing in the morning just so I can keep it consistent. But I had already gotten dressed, so it doesn't really matter. It's a pound or 2 at best. But I weighed in. Sorry again. I don't know if I can do anything about that sun with the direction I'm traveling. I weighed in at 305.5 pounds. So right about where I thought, between 300 and 310, probably around 306, 305, 306, and that's where I was. So 304 at best. Now, as far as yesterday was concerned, I did well. I said I was going to keep to an eating window, so I wasn't going to eat, even though I was tempted many times. I was out pretty much all day. I started to hit the road at 7:30. I didn't get home until almost 9. So what I did end up doing was I ended up stopping after driving for like 3 hours and just grabbing some sushi. So not bad at all. I gave myself permission to treat myself to sushi. Sushi is relatively healthy. The rice isn't great, but the fish is obviously very good protein and lean, and I love sushi. Sushi, like if I had to give up everything, like in terms of, if I had to just kind of like stick to like a very strict diet, but I was allowed an indulgence. And for example, if sushi wasn't, on the diet, but I had to give up everything else, like sushi would be the thing that I wish that I would, that I would like to keep, I'd like to keep it all, right? I like to keep chocolate and cookies and, cakes and sweets and ice cream and dessert and all that good stuff. But I can't. There may be a day where I can eat that stuff again, but it's just like I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm 6 years sober. Haven't had a drink or a drug in 6 years. And maybe I need to treat my food and my eating, it's an addiction. So maybe I need to treat it like that. And there's programs for that, 12-step programs that kind of go with that. And I tried it and I was successful. As a matter of fact, when I got down to 273, I was working a program like that. But it became, the restrictions are sometimes too challenging. So anyway, this is going to be a shorter video today because I just really kind of wanted to check in, do the weight update, which is 305. Tomorrow's December 1st, which means 31 days left in the year. So this is like, I don't know, it's kind of like where the rubber meets the road, like in a lot of ways, because there's a lot of challenges that that I'm currently facing in my life, just beyond just the weight loss, and the getting in shape. So I need to really dedicate myself to like putting one foot in front of the other and constantly being in action and in motion. The minute I sit down, the minute I like take my foot off the gas, anytime I, give myself an unpermitted break. I want to kind of, emphasize that, like, it's not healthy to constantly be go, go, go and never stop and not take time to kind of, meditate or pray or reconnect or even just like, even give myself like permission to like watch a TV show just to relax. It's when like I sit down and binge like an entire series or, just like anything else, I sit down and eat an entire bag of potato chips, I need to learn like good moderation, but I also need to push myself a little harder. I need to constantly be in action. So that's why, like this morning, I had a fight with my girlfriend. It was awful. It was like just horrible. Like we fight about the dumbest things, but they turn into like these huge fights that doesn't accomplish anything, except push us further and further away. And it's a sad reality that like that this is the kind of life that we're in together. And and I don't want that kind of relationship. She doesn't want that kind of relationship. And there is a solution. There's many solutions, but the solution where it's like a win-win-win situation is like I figure out my shit, I get my shit together, I give her space to work on her shit, and we meet at the intersection. But what I can't do is expect her to change and everything will be better. And I can't expect for me to be the only one that changes and everything will be better. But, a friend of mine had said like you have to vibrate at this high energy. If you vibrate at this high energy, even if somebody comes at you at this low energy, you have two options. You can sink down to their level and then, your 9-year-olds are fighting, or you can just continue to vibrate or operate at this level and that person will rise to meet you. And that's my only responsibility right now is just vibrating, attracting at the highest possible energy. I need to cut the shit with the self-pity and the self-doubt and the poor me and the compelling victim story that I hear a lot. Oh, what a compelling victim story. I hear that. Maybe I'll do another video about that. But I need to stop with all that shit because what is it really accomplishing? If to myself, to my internal voice monologue, whatever you want to call it, it's just creating this like perpetual victim story that allows me to. Sorry, this like sun sucks. It allows me to live in it and say, okay, yep, this is how my life is. So I have every right to feel sad or depressed or lonely or angry or act the way that I act because look at all the shit that's happening to me. It's for people who drink, we say stuff like, if you had my life, you'd drink too. Like it's some sort of an excuse, and when it becomes an excuse, then it becomes easier to just slip into that shitty behavior, So, for me to kind of, wallow in self-pity, self-doubt, to speak it out there, to put it out into the universe, like there's some reality, there's some truth to that, that when you say those things, they become programmed in your head. The studies that have been done where, kids that were called stupid their whole lives, even if they had a high level of intelligence, they didn't operate at the full level because they've been constantly told they were stupid, so they began to believe that. So one, I can't do it for myself. I can no longer say, I'm a victim in any capacity, and whether that's self-pity, self-doubt, oh, woe is me, or oh, you treat me like this, and I don't like it, and I deserve better. Bullshit, yes, I do deserve better, but if I can't just be like, oh, this is, oh, why are you treating me like this? Like, it's just not helpful. Two, I can't speak that into existence around other people. It is important to be able to talk to people and tell them what's going on, but I can't be like, oh, my life is so hard, and oh man, I wish, or I don't know. I don't know if it's Stoic philosophy or if it's I forget where I heard it or read it or saw it or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna look it up because it's pretty important. But it was, don't let anyone know you're tired or you're hungry or you're thirsty or anything like that. Like, don't. Like, it's okay, to be those things, and recognize those and then address them, but it's not your It's not helpful to broadcast that to the masses, to the world. I think it was like related to work. Like if you never want to be shown as weak. And so I have some varying thoughts about that. Because I think it is important to be honest with people, especially your partner and everything like that. But I think there's some validity to that as well. It's important to not show that you're vulnerable, that you're weak, because people, whether consciously or unconsciously, will take advantage of it. And I have been, I'm just going to say, I almost did it, and I recognize that happens. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to ascribe any sort of ownership to it. I recognize that happens, that when individuals express what might be perceived as a weakness, other people will use that as ammunition or leverage. So anyway, I thought there was going to be a short video. It ended up being longer than yesterday's. But Shedding Santa Day 2, 305.5. Everything is great. And keep working towards your goals too.